Good evening. This is Professor D, and for a few minutes, I'm going to cover some of the items that you should read up on and study for the midterm in our hospitality marketing class. So the midterm, you'll have 90 minutes to complete. There are a few key things that you want to make sure that you understand. First is the marketing mix. What are the 4 Ps, and explain what each means. If you don't understand the 4 Ps by now, there is a problem. Know the 4 Ps. Lifetime value of a customer, again, one of those foundational pieces. Demography, it's breaking up your target audience based on things like age, race, background, all types of demographics, okay, so that you know who you're targeting in terms of your marketing campaign. Value proposition of a product. What is it that that product is offering that other products in that category aren't? What does Grey Goose offer that Absolute doesn't in terms of vodkas? Perishability. This is something that I stress in terms of the expiration date of certain goods and services. More so services such as hotels. Once a certain point is reached in the night, you can't, rent out those rooms. You can't sell those rooms anymore. When the plane has left, you can't sell those seats anymore. So what are you going to do about that perishability, which is the bigger question? With hotels, there's apps like Hotel Tonight. With airlines, there's a number of different ways that you can deal with perishability, such as last-minute flights, using services like TravelZoo.com, using Orbitz, Priceline, you name it. Okay, so there are things to do, and this is what a salesperson, director of sales, sales manager, for an airline, for a hotel, for a restaurant, that's what they're dealing with. For a restaurant, especially if you're in New York City, you're going to reach out to the concierges. Okay, you may reach out to your email list, the people that are going to potentially send you some business. Concierges are a big plus. They'll send you some business. You just have to make it worth their while. There are some new services that are trying to fill tables last minute. They operate a little bit through Twitter. So just Google that a little bit and see what you find. Cruise ships, they use a lot of their CRM in terms of email lists for frequent customers. Now the trick is to not make your existing customers, the ones who've already bought tickets on that flight, bought passes for that cruise, you don't want to make them feel like they paid too much. The airlines, people are used to sitting next to somebody who paid $200 less, but you want to make sure that you make it attractive enough. Okay. Gender segmentation, you're talking about breaking it up, male, female. Pretty obvious. Under promise and over deliver. It's not about lowering the bar so much so that you can exceed, telling them that they're going to have a terrible stay and then giving them a good stay. It's not over promising, meaning don't tell them that they're going to have the best night's sleep of their life when they stay in your hotel, because that's pretty hard to achieve. But you can tell them that they're going to get a great experience, a nice comfy bed. They'll be woken up in the morning with, if they want to wake up at a particular time, they can have good room service. There'll be a decent amount of channels, but don't say that they're going to get everything, because you can't live up to that. Now, Four Seasons, Ritz-Carlton, other top hotels, they're going to set the bar pretty high, and they still manage to exceed that. And that's where the over-deliver is. When you have a good customer come in and they've stayed with you before, the over-deliver is upgrading them. It's leaving a little basket in their room. It's leaving a note by the GM. And what does that cost you? Nothing. Okay, so do it. Make them happy. In a restaurant, you know that they're celebrating an anniversary, send a bottle of champagne to their table. It's not going to cost you anything. There's all these different things that you can do. Yes, it does cost something, but it doesn't cost a lot. How does Burger King determine where to place a new location? They just look where McDonald's go, and then they park themselves across the street. Define CRM and be able to provide examples. CRM, customer relationship management. And what does that mean? CRM is a system, so make sure you know what to do with that information. If you're going to collect emails for your customers, send them an email every once in a while talking about promotions, talking about special events. If they're your VIPs, invite them to something nice, a private tasting with the chef, whatever. Okay. Feedback loops, these are all the ways that you find out how you're doing. Remember HDYK, how do you know? Question mark. So if somebody says, I think we need to change the specials on Fridays, somebody should ask, how do you know? Well, because we're getting comment cards consistently saying that the specials are terrible on Friday. That's a good feedback loop. Or something's popping up on Yelp or Zagat or on Twitter, or the manager consistently is finding out through discussions with the customers that they're underwhelmed with the specials on a Friday. Okay, your bartender is going to tell you a lot of things. You might send in a mystery shopper. There's a number of ways that you can get feedback. So you want to make sure that you take advantage of all that and do something with it. Okay, we collect a lot of information, but a lot of times people don't do anything with it. Okay, these are the kinds of things that you want to discuss during conference calls, etc. Messages and channels. What is the message? Message is our vodka is the best because it is distilled 5 times and it'll make you feel like a superstar. If that's your message, then pick the channel that you're going to communicate that through. Is that through print ads? Is that through Facebook promotions? Is that through tastings in a liquor store or a bar? Pick the channel that is right for you. And when you identify channels, you have to be specific. Don't say TV, don't say radio, don't say newspapers. You want to say Bravo channel. You want to say ESPN, the magazine. You want to say The View show. So you want to put an ad during The View on whatever channel The View is on. I don't know. Okay, so you want to be very specific about messages and channels. Channels are all of those platforms, all of those ways that we communicate marketing in the world. Now the stories. JetBlue, there's plenty on ProfDuchamp.com about JetBlue, some great testimonials. Four Seasons briefcase. Very quickly, a businessman was at a Four Seasons. He was chatting up the bellman, left, forgot his briefcase. He was flying to DC for a big meeting. Some communication took place. The bellman went after him, flew to DC, hand-delivered the briefcase. Employee of the year. Okay, that is amazing. Great customer service. Friendly's family experience is in your textbook, but the thing to remember about that, Friendly's wanted to make their environment more family friendly. So they asked the kids, of course they asked the parents too, but they asked the kids what they wanted. Kids wanted an adult style menu. The family, they wanted their kids near them. They didn't want them in a playground on the other side of the restaurant. They wanted them near them. There's comfort. There's a few things that they touched on, but that's also in your textbook. But remember those specific details. Ritz-Carlton wedding dress. Remember that every staff member within the Ritz-Carlton has the ability to make a guest experience better to the tune of $2,000. Now, there has to be accountability for those $2,000, but in this particular story, wedding is taking place at the Ritz-Carlton. The bride receives the dress is damaged, freaking out. The Ritz-Carlton employee went out, got her a brand new dress. Now $2,000 will buy you a decent dress. And the wedding went off, no problems. Bride is very happy. Somebody saved the day. So these are the good things that need to happen. It's a great example of that for the Ritz-Carlton. Starbucks getting started. There's a number of different highlights within the textbook. But remember, they were founded in Seattle. They started out as a coffee bean company. They created a coffee house environment based on European traditions and style. They created very comfortable environments, nice couches, nice chairs, a place where you want to spend time. They were going after they wanted to be the third place. First place is home, second place is work or school, third place is where you hang out when you're not at those first two places. And that's what they wanted to be. And to do that, they created a comfortable environment, like I said, with those comfortable chairs and couches, and free Wi-Fi. So that's Starbucks. Harrow's getting started. What really catapulted them was their CRM, which is called the Total Rewards Network. Some of you are probably members of that network. So they know everything about their customers. Sometimes it gets them into trouble. But point is, they can reach out to people at any time. They can lure them back into their casinos by offering them free tickets to Broadway shows or off-Broadway shows, to comedy, to dinners, to whatever. They know how to pull people in. They remain in contact with them. They use their CRM. Burger King's campaign. This was by a very good ad house. I think it's called Bogulski, Crispin Glover, Bogulski, something like that. In any case, they developed this Have It Your Way campaign. And to really make it pop, they used this campaign where they put a man or a woman in a chicken suit, and you could tell the chicken to do whatever you want. It's called the subservient chicken. And people would message in, you know, hop on one foot, do jumping jacks, do push-ups, you know, tear up the couch, whatever. So just Google it and you'll see what some of the things that the subservient chicken went and did. The beauty of this is that it was a very simple campaign and it went viral. Every news show was talking about it. There's videos all over the place. People were gathering to tell the chicken to do things. It was a hit. So very, very effective. And lastly, Opera's segmented pricing. If you look up segmented pricing in the textbook, whether it's 5th edition or 6th edition, you're going to come across a marketing highlight entitled Segmented Pricing, the right product to the right customer at the right time for the right price. And they talk about the Galveston Opera House, where ticket services manager Jimmy Lagaretta decided that they had to do something about their ticket pricing. They were making good money on the weekends, and in fact, they were turning people away for some of their better seats. But during the week, it was just sad. They weren't making enough money. So what they did was they looked at the numbers, they figured out an approach, and they sat in every seat to gauge the view and the acoustics of those seats. And basically from that, they went from 5 tiers of pricing to 9 tiers of pricing. Some of the seats for the weekends, Friday and Saturday, they bumped up heavily, as much as 50% increase in pricing. So the more sought after seats, those prices went up. Some of the prices for the seats during the week actually went down, and they experienced a 9% revenue increase during the next season. So segmented pricing works, and more opera houses, as I researched, have followed this same approach. Well, that's your midterm study guide. If you have any questions before the midterm, please contact me. But everything's in your textbook and everything should be in your notes, and you can look at this video over and over and over again. Good luck. Talk to you soon.